Okay, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. The Institute for Spiritual Development is a God-centered, spiritually inclusive community and metaphysical church dedicated to our growing spiritual development and awareness and an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance. Please stand if you can for the opening prayer and invocation. Our opening prayer today is by Sa Baba. Love one another. Help others to rise to higher levels simply by pouring out love. Love is infectious and the greatest healing energy. God, the creator of the heavens and earth, source of healing of all, we call upon your divine love and energy and your blessed ones, holy angels, archangels, holy prophets, healers, and saints, to be with us today in heart and spirit. We ask for the sharing of healing and wellness, guidance, and loving energy in our lives. We are grateful for your presence and compassion, and so it is. Amen. Have a seat. Today's principle is number 8. We affirm the personal responsibility of the individual and that we choose our own happiness or unhappiness as we apply the laws of the universe. It was funny, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, being responsible for our own thoughts, words, actions, decisions. And I get in the car and Carl has the country music song on, there's bluegrass, and it goes, there was one song I really liked it, and then I listened to the words. It's when karma comes a-calling. And it's, you'll have to look it up, when karma comes a-calling, gets you going, but you really think about that. And this is, I think this is one of the most beloved among our members and our ministers, is that we take we take personal responsibility for ourselves. We don't go around, we try not to go around blaming this and that for decisions in our lives. And once we do that, once we accept our personal responsibility, there's freedom there. It's like opening everything. And we most of the time make better decisions because we know we have to take responsibility. We can't go around blaming others. So I'm gonna keep it short on that, but we affirm the personal responsibility of the individual and that we choose our happiness or unhappiness as we apply the laws of the universe. So, food for thought. And Caroline, yes. For the prayer of St. Francis.
Say it together. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is offense, let me bring pardon. Where there is discord, let me bring union. Where there is error, let me bring truth. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, let me bring light. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. O Master, let me not seek as much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in self-forgetting that one finds. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that one is raised to eternal life. Amen.
Thank you, Caroline. So I'm delighted to introduce Karyn Chabot Martino. Did I do it right?
You did a
We
good
got
job.
the French and the Italian in there. And Karyn, and we also have to thank Melinda for introducing us. And I went to your website and I read through all your items and everything, and I was just like, this is delightful. You're so cute. I said to her, you're a cutie. You know, somebody who's just really happy, and I thought, yeah, we've got to invite her. So, welcome.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be here, and I'm not always happy. Anyways, I really love Mary Beth, and I've been hearing about Robert for the last 25 years from Mary Beth. And I finally got to meet him last week, and I'm so happy I got to meet you.
Me too.
Yeah, you're a really special daddy.
Thanks.
Okay, so what I'm here to share with you is the science of life, Ayurveda. And some of you may have heard of it, some of you may not have heard of it. It's a Sanskrit word, so it's hard to say, Ayurveda. And you know, there are many paths up the mountain to enlightenment and to find, you know, self-realization. For me, it was Ayurveda. I say whatever lights you up. It doesn't have to be Ayurveda. It could be hypnotherapy, it could be Reiki, it could be massage, it could be whatever it is. There's so many integrative medical arts that, you know, yoga, whatever it is that lights you up. I say go there and rise up, raise your vibration. Be happy, joyful, forgiving, compassionate, loving, and kind. And in that state, you get this gratitude, this state of grace that rises you up, no matter what you want to call it, title it. You could even be a Chinese acupuncturist, I don't care, whatever it is. Rise up, and whoever comes to you will rise up with you, because it's all about your vibration. So for me, I must have been an Ayurvedic doctor in many lifetimes. I was a, you know, acupuncturist, I'm sure. I know I was in Tibet, I was in Burma, had past life regression. So I went into that direction as a white blonde girl. And here I am studying Ayurveda now since I was, I think I was 33. And I went into Ayurveda because I was sick. And I thought about, I have 15 minutes with you all. What am I gonna do? How can I be most impactful? How can I really, truly be of service? So I could just do blah, 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 and concepts and theories and the science of it all, and you'd be bored to death. And I thought, okay, they all love a story, everybody loves a story, so let me tell you my story quick, and then I want to open this up to your stories. And I would like to help you. I'm a medical intuitive, I'm a Vedic astrologer. I do medical Vedic astrology as well as all types of Vedic astrology. I'm also a LMT, licensed massage therapist, since I was 33. And I have my master's degree in Ayurvedic medicine. So I have all the boring credentials behind me, but my story is really the kicker. My story is, I would have just been eating McDonald's and Big Macs and French fries, because I love all that, and pizza. Even now, I have a husband that can eat all that. I can watch him eat it, and does nothing. It affects him. He can just eat that, and that's his constitution. He was born that way. I was not. I was born the wounded healer. So I had to learn how to heal myself by walking through my wounds. So I had, genetically, I have mast cell activation syndrome, which is high amounts of histamines in my blood. From my mother's side of the family, I had Graves' disease, which is another autoimmune disorder. Graves' disease is hyperthyroid, where my eyes bug out and my thyroid went crazy, and I was 90 pounds and couldn't walk up my stairs with a 6-month-old baby. That was really hard. And I had celiac disease and POTS, tachycardia, and I could keep going. I have a lot of autoimmune disorders, and I laugh about it because I know all of you have your stuff, and I'm not here to win the prize for the most stuff, but I did get it from genetically from my parents, and I can see that in my Vedic astrology chart. And in that was liberating that I'm not a victim. I didn't just wake up, you know, one day sick because for whatever reason. I see it all in math, science, in the black and white. These are my afflictions for a reason, and then my clients come to me. All of them have similar afflictions, so I can meet them where they're at and really help them. So I had to do Ayurveda to heal myself. I had to. So I had a baby. She was 6 months old when I realized I was undiagnosed. I didn't know what I had, and I was just melting away. I was 90 pounds. And I went to this healer guy who was a little bit cray-cray. And He was a medical intuitive, and he was the head of the Bible study that I was going to. And he had healed so many people in the Bible study, I was desperate. So I went to him and he said, stand on the dotted line. And he looked at me with his medical intuitive eyes. And he looked right into my belly button. And he said, you have a fire in your belly button. I went, what? I'm just a regular white girl, grew up on McDonald's and French fries, never heard any of this kind of talk before. So I said, well, how do I put it out? And he said, okay, this is the list of food you need to follow, because the reason you're on fire is because you're eating all these foods that are causing inflammation. So I took the list, and he said, come back in a month and don't cheat. It's like really hard to do, because that list was so hard. There was no sugar, no salt. I mean, all the foods that I was used to eating, I didn't know food could kill you, or it was your medicine, one or the other. So through that list, I regained my health, but there's a little story in there. I did cheat, so I did 2 weeks of the diet. I thought, well, he won't know. I can't do this. This is killing me. 2 weeks, because that made me antisocial. I became like a restaurant. I had to feed my daughter. My husband wouldn't eat that food. She wouldn't eat that food, and I had to cook my own food, and then I couldn't be around the neighbors or my friends and family because I'm eating brown rice and zucchini, and they didn't want to eat that food, so I couldn't eat their food, they couldn't eat my food. Food is something it's like breaking bread with people. It's community, it's joyful. So when you're going on a diet like I had to go on, I had to ostracize myself. I was very isolated and lonely and frustrated. So I did it for 2 weeks, and I thought, okay, I feel pretty good. Maybe he won't know. I went back. 1 month later, 2 weeks, I kind of veered off pretty bad. Not terrible, I didn't do Big Macs and French fries, but I might have had Doritos or something. And I went to the dotted line. He looked at me and he said, go home, you cheated. It's like, okay, busted. So he said, I will not see you again if you do this again. So I said, oh my God, he's really good, he knew. So I went home and I looked at that list and I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. Because I know those first 2 weeks changed me. I really stopped swelling. My mental clarity cleared up. I mean, I had visceral improvement. So I knew we were onto something, and I was desperate because the doctors just wanted to give me radiation for the Graves' disease. And they just wanted to do all the, drugs and all the stuff that would have eventually destroyed my immune system for good. So I did it 1 month later, and I felt like I was on top of the world, better than when I was 16. I was 30, maybe 29 when I went to Rick. And he was a white guy, he wasn't an Ayurvedic dude, but that list was the Pitta list in Ayurveda. He didn't call it that, he didn't give me any Sanskrit, anything, he just said this list. But I was in school for my master's and I saw that list in the Ayurvedic books. And oh my God, that's the list. I was blown away. So I went to study Ayurveda in New Mexico. I gave up everything, and I dedicated myself to this science, and it took me to heights. Finally, I was able to function without the medications that my mom is, she's got 12 medications per day. She doesn't do Ayurveda, she doesn't believe in what I do at all, and that's okay, that's her path. I don't try to, I'm not here to make people reform or conform. I say go where it lights you up, and smile and find joy in whatever it is that you do. Find maybe it is acupuncture that is your medicine, whatever it is. But this was my medicine, and it really, really worked for me. So what I want to do is share with you for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm a medical intuitive, and sometimes a client comes to me. I've been doing this since I was 33, and I'm going to be 60 this year. When a client comes to me, sometimes in 5 minutes, I know what diet and what lifestyle and what herbs I'm going to give them. Sometimes I know this session isn't even about health and diet and herbs. This session is because she has a broken heart and her boyfriend's breaking up with her, or her husband's cheating on her, and that's what we're going to talk about, even though they come under the guise of Ayurvedic health. Usually in 5 minutes I've got that down. Sometimes they trick me and I am there for 30 minutes trying to peel the layers of why are they here? What can I do? I don't know what diet to give them. And I get in a quandary, and then I have to ask for divine guidance. But most of the time, I'm in 5 minutes know what this person has come for. So I thought, okay, let me be of service, because I pulled some cards yesterday and I asked the universe, how can I help? How can I best serve tomorrow? I only have 15 minutes. And I heard they're sick. They need help. Really and truly, a lot of people here don't feel good. And I get it, I've been there. So I want the best, and I still don't feel good. Sometimes I wake up and it's a lifelong thing when you have autoimmune disease. You can't just stop doing what you've learned. It's a perpetual, every day my life is daily decisions based on how can I sleep, how can I function, how can I heal, what food should I eat, what should my lifestyle be today, what type of yoga would be best for me, how can I ground. I mean, that's my body, and my maintenance is full-time work, but I have the tools, and I want to share those tools with you. So, if you don't mind sharing in front of everybody, if you want to raise your hand and give me a diagnosis so I can guide you to a diet. Yes.
Yeah, I have autoimmune issues, psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, myasthenia gravis, and they go into remission and they come back. So I've had 2 knee replacements, a broken leg, a broken hip. So, you know, a physical therapist told me there's a lot of autoimmune issues going on that are causing them too.
Okay, so let me repeat. Did everybody hear her? Okay, I'm just gonna repeat it and correct me if I didn't hear you right.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry that you're going through all that. That's
Thank
a
you.
lot. And I get it. So, you have knee replacements.
Mhm.
You have psoriasis, did I hear?
Psoriatic arthritis, yeah, and psoriasis. It's now gone into psoriasis, and I'm in remission from the psoriatic arthritis.
Okay, so knees, arthritis, and inflammation, arthritis type, right?
Yeah,
And psoriasis, but I don't see any on your skin. Ah, okay.
it's on my back, it's on my hip, yeah.
Okay, can you just show me your tongue? Okay, so there's inflammation here. So of the 5 great elements, earth, fire, water, ether, air, we are preponderance of each of them. And some of us are born with more of one or the other. And I was born with a lot of fire. Even though I might not look like it, I have a lot of fire. I could spontaneously combust.
I get it.
Yeah, you might too. So I'm looking at her tongue, it's bright red. So of the 5 great elements, which one would you imagine is exacerbated right now in her life?
The fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so we work with the principle of opposites, so we want to cool you down.
Okay.
And what I would do, especially the liver retains heat, and the knees and the liver have reciprocity. So I know the liver is affected because of the knee issues, so we need to cool your liver down. One of the best things to do for that is aloe vera gel, not the juice, because the gel is time release. The juice will go right through you. Do it 3 times a day, a 1/4 cup, and get the organic. And taste the bitterness of it, because the taste has action. The bitterness has affinity for the liver. It will go right to your liver. It'll be your best medicine for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, and one more thing. If you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a food that you might love, and this is sometimes the hardest part of my job, but dairy is one of the main culprits for psoriasis.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of dairy anymore because I
Good.
find that I have an issue with it. Yeah.
You've noticed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So why dairy? Because it's one of the most oily foods, the most anabolic foods on the planet. It's the first food that's given to the baby to grow. And it is basically, I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
I didn't sleep last night. I was swimming in the flames of fire myself last night. It was a family feud, and I'm trying really hard because I told you I'm pitta, I'm fire. So when I react with anger, but someone else might react with doubt and insecurity, or they might deny it and go into suppression of the emotions, and they become crystallized in the body. These are all reactions that we have that have everything to do with earth, fire, water, ether, air. It's a way to get to know yourself. Are you a person that reacts with fire? Yeah. Anger? Are you a person that reacts with, let me stuff it, I don't want to deal with it, and deny it, because that's kapha? And if you're a person that gets really hyper about it and insecure and needy and maybe victim poor me, that's vata, ether and air. I'm the fire girl. I was swimming in the flames of fire last night, so I didn't sleep, so I'm a little foggy today. For you, it's dairy that's the oiliest food, but if you could reduce all oil, like avocado, I've talked to people, oh no, I don't do any dairy, and after I consult with them, I find out they eat 4 avocados a day.
Avocados, dairy?
No, it's the oily principle within the dairy.
Okay.
That's the culprit. So it's not dairy itself. It's one of the oiliest foods on the planet. Is milk. So any oil, the best oils you can do are coconut, unrefined virgin, cold press, or ghee.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes avocado oil has a high heat tolerance. These foods don't go rancid. We don't want any rancid oils in you because that goes right for the liver.
Okay.
And the liver can't filter that. And so we also want you to put blue light over your liver, and your yoga would be spinal twisting to release the liver heat.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a diet called oiliness that you go on my website and follow that diet.
Okay.
It will help you until maybe the season shifts. If it doesn't help you before the next seasonal shift, contact me and I'll help you with another.
Okay.
But I think that one's the one for you.
Okay.
It's on my website. Just go to the dosha quiz. Everyone can do this dosha quiz, and there's a free download of all the diets. And I'll just give you a rundown. The diets are like this: cold, hot, oily, dry, heavy, light, mixed, and karmic. So there's 8. There's 7 planets, and each of them have an affinity for a planet. So oily has affinity for Venus. Okay, so you're a Venus girl.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
It does. It was very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is anyone else? I don't know. Just tell me when I'm done. Somebody give me the buzzer. Is there anyone that wants to tell me about what they have and I might be able to help? Yes.
I don't have a diagnosis because I don't like doing that.
Say it again.
I don't have a diagnosis that I know of,
Okay.
but I'm just, I have a lot of tightness up my spine and, yeah, my low back and, I was going to a chiropractor, before I moved to Florida, and I haven't been to a chiropractor since I've been here, but I'm thinking I don't want to keep going to a chiropractor. And I've been doing yoga and, and now it feels like my hips are clunking, and so things are different. I thought they would be better moving from up north to down south, and so, that's pretty much, and my shoulder, I had frozen shoulder and it's still not right, there's something going on there.
So the bones, the joints, the spine, the whole spine, the lower spine, upper spine, hip joints, shoulder joints. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was when you relocated.
It's increased. However, I was thinking it could be our bed. We have a new bed that we're going to be exchanging, and also a new couch that could also be part of the culprit. But I don't know, it feels like there could be more stuff going on.
When did this start? Like about 5 years ago? When? Just give me a time frame.
Well, the frozen shoulder was, my shoulder's not frozen now, but it hasn't been right ever since. And that was, gosh, maybe 8 years ago.
8 years ago, all of this started accumulating, starting with the spine.
The shoulder, I would
Shoulder was the
say,
first thing to go?
as far as I know, yeah.
Okay, then the spine, and then now your hips.
Spine more so since I came here.
Okay, so I'm trying to put
And
a
the hips
timeline.
too.
And you came here when?
September,
September? Oh my goodness, okay. And you were from Northeast?
Connecticut.
Connecticut? Okay. So the spine is governed by the sun. And whenever there's spinal issues, it is usually inflammation. And the sun is catabolic. You notice what the sun does to paint on a house. That paint, you have to keep painting it. So the same thing to the bones. The sun will burn the bones. So, and the head is the top of the spine, and this is the sun in the body. It makes sense, big, bright. The light comes from the face, and the sun is the light. So we have the sun governing the spine, and when you moved down here from a cooler climate to a hot climate, inflammation started to increase, is what I'm guessing. Because in Ayurveda, one of the remedial remedies is, well, where should I live? What's the best for my constitution? Someone born with a lot of fire, where would you put them?
Antarctica.
Alaska, because we're working with the principle of opposites, right? So my Ayurveda teacher used to yell at all these Pitta people who are living in the tropics, what are you doing? So you'd have to really be very mindful of the hottest time of the day. If you're gonna live down here and not have pain, you wanna work with the fire elements around us. So the hottest time of the day is when the sun is highest in the sky, and that's when you would stay out of the sun. Lunchtime, between 10 and 3. No exercise, no heating the body up. Stay cool in the air conditioning. And cucumbers, aloe vera, sweet potatoes is a whole list of foods that will cool you down, and it's called the sun diet. So I would put that diet for the next 2 weeks on you and just play with it. See how you feel. It can't hurt. So you go right to my website and just look up heat. It's under sun. And you'll find a list of foods that will reduce the inflammation. Hope that helps.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and spinal twisting.
Yes, I've been doing that. And I love humidity. That's why I've been loving it down here. I love the balmy mornings.
I
and
do too. I'm on
evenings.
fire though. I have to be so careful. And when I went to Costa Rica, it's really very dangerous people like me and you to go. Can I just see your tongue? You have a red tongue? It's not too
Who,
bad.
me or her?
No, her. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not terribly red. So there's more going on with you than just heat. And I don't have time to go through the whole thing, but you have to be careful if you have a lot of heat, where you live, and you have to be careful what you eat, and your partner. Relationships matter. If you have a partner who causes you to be angry and you're already on fire, not so good. Because then you have a perpetual, what we call culprit living in there, and so what's the point of eating cucumbers and aloe vera if there's a big flame right in front of you all the time? Unless you kept, throwing water balloons at them or something, I don't know. Cooling down. Anyone else? Do I have time for one more?
One more.
Yeah. Nobody? Somebody? Yeah.
I'm getting headaches and I've been gaining weight. the
Headaches?
past 6 months.
So it started 6 months ago,
About,
and headaches, is this new to you?
yeah,
You've been like on and off with headaches, but
yeah.
you're not really a
constant.
headache person, and then
Right.
suddenly, 6 months ago?
About, I had surgery in 2022, January of 2022.
What was the surgery?
Hysterectomy,
Hysterectomy?
yeah.
Okay. And why did they do that?
I had endometriosis pretty badly.
Okay, that gives me information, so sorry to hear that. So endometriosis, was the blood thick or was it thin?
Thick,
Okay,
but it was lasting for like over 2 months at a time,
okay.
yeah.
Can I see your tongue? And you just lift it up? Yeah, I just a little bit, that's all I want to see underneath, because sometimes we have what we call ama, toxins that coat the tongue and it's white, but underneath is red. So I think the body of the tongue you have inflammation. So you had endometriosis, which led to a hysterectomy, which then 6 months later you got headaches. Okay, so what I want to tell you is I want to redirect the energy down to your feet. Energy's all stuck in your head. And a good way to do that, I'm going to give you several ideas, and let your body be the barometer for which one resonates best, or all of them might. But an enema, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but if you can do a gentle enema, have you heard of this? Just a little fleet enema at CDS. There's little bottles of saline, and you can take the water out and just put magnesium oil or clove essential oil or just warm water and a little castor oil on the tip. It doesn't hurt. You squeeze the water in, retain it as long as you can, and then wait for a bowel movement. And are you going every day? So you're regular. Because when there's a potato in the tailpipe, the car won't go. So I gotta make sure we're on the same page with that. So you're going every day, but
Do you
maybe,
think it could be because of my hot flashes?
are you menopausal?
Yeah, I did a full hysterectomy and they didn't do any harm.
Oh, that's right, you had the uterus removed.
Yeah,
Okay, so did they put you on any bioidentical hormones?
nothing.
It was cold turkey.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something called bioidentical hormones. We need to work with that. And there are doctors that will give you creams, topical, as well as there are pellets that they can insert, time release. They put them in adipose tissue. It's a little incision, and these pellets are like, you know, estrogen patches or nicotine patches. They work transdermal. So it saved me. I'm on the bioidenticals myself, and a lot of my friends that are in my age group, you know, suffering from menopausal symptoms, and that could be the reason for your headache, the root cause of it. But still, your energy got stuck up there, and there are 5 directional flows in the body, 5, and one of them is the one that goes down to the earth. It's called Upana Vayu. Vayu means flow in Sanskrit. When we get too much headaches, Upana Vayu is disconnected from the earth, and it's all up, going up instead of bringing you back down. So in order to re-educate your body, hey, we gotta bring our energies back down and restore Upana Vayu, ding, 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 like that. We do an enema, and then the downflow of the bowel movement triggers the body to bring the energy away from your head and into the earth, back down. It re-educates the flow. So do that on an empty stomach twice a week, and even though you feel like you're going, just re-educate. Just do this for a month. Re-educate the downward flow, as well as there's something you can buy on my website, and if you don't want to use mine, you can go to Banyan Botanicals or Ayurveda.com. But there's something called Nasya, and this is an oil that is special for the nose, and it is amazing for headaches.
Yeah.
It removes headaches.
How do you spell it?
Nasya is Nasyas. Oh, Nas. I can't do it without a pen. Nasyasa. I think that's it. Yeah. And
YASYSA.
so, and I'm gonna pretend. Oh, here I got a pen here. I'm so spoiled on the computer. It's Nasy.
Yeah, Nasya.
Yeah, Nasya. So Nasya, it's what it does is it goes through the blood-brain barrier. This is the only way through the blood-brain barrier is the nose. You can medicate all kinds of things that are unmedicatable in this culture through the nostrils, believe it or not. So Nasya has many essential oils in it, and it will. Sometimes we get headache because of dryness in the brain, overthinking, and all of the bones in the head need to be reset because the sutures around the joints in the head get stuck like, you know, the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. He needs to be oiled up. And when the bones get stuck, then we get headaches. So when you do the Super Nasya, that's called Super Nasya, at the Ayurvedic Institute, it's really amazing. You put 5 drops in each nostril, and it will lubricate the bones in your head and do automatic craniosacral therapy.
I do cranial sacral. I'm fascinated.
Yes. You could go to her along with all the things I just gave you.
Around here.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I'm just visiting my parents in Boca.
Well, if you might find a craniosacral therapist.
Right.
Okay.
Practitioner.
Yeah, and also there's another therapy called Karnapurna, which is oil in the ears. You could do both. Some people call this a headgasm. It's amazing. It's like oil here, your eyes brighten up, your jaw, TMJ goes away, the whole head gets refreshed and invigorated, headache leaves. It's amazing. Sinus problems go away. So
Can I do self-Reiki?
you can do self-Reiki, always. Yeah, that's never a no. But Karnapurna is Ayurvedic remedy. I have to spell it myself. Karna means ear, Karna. Purna means purification. So if you work with your ear, fill it with warm oil. Make sure the oil is pure and clean. You might even infuse some garlic in it if you want to. But you could use cold pressed virgin olive oil or sesame oil or sunflower oil, even jojoba oil, because it is actually a wax, and like dissolves like. So you could let that be, just turn your head to the side and retain it for 5 to 10 minutes, and do that twice a week for 1 month with the Nasya every day before you go to bed.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bioidentical hormones. Don't forget that. I hope I helped.
Oh my goodness.
Very much.
Okay, good. It's so nice to meet you all. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
It was an honor. I'm gonna leave my cards right here so you can find my website if you need anything.
Perfect, thank you.
I don't think I have enough for everybody, but there's more in the shop. When, okay, yeah, take a picture with your phone, good idea. There you go.
Thank you.
You're
Thank,
so welcome.
thank you so much.
You are welcome. We have a lunch date with a friend, so I'm gonna
Okay.
beeline out, but really nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
take care, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rita. When you talk to her.
I will.
I will,
definitely.
I will.
Yes.
I will.
Ciao.
Um, That was amazing discussion, and we hope to have more. I could relate to the inflammation and the dairy, and you know it's BOGO for ice cream the past few weeks.
Sunday night.
Well, we had, I think, 8 of them. The little Haagen-Dazs,
Yeah,
the week
yeah.
before was Jerry's, and the freezer went off. Anyway, the freezer had problems, and the repairman came in and said, "Don't judge us. don't judge us." But she's right, because I noticed that myself also with dairy, and it's been since a child. The doctors even told my parents, "Don't give her dairy. Don't, goat's milk maybe." But
Yeah, dairy's bad. I know my son had asthma, and a veterinarian told me, take him off all dairy. It's the worst
Yeah.
thing for allergies. Yeah, bad allergies.
yeah,
Too, so.
and I want to calm my throat all the time from chronic sinus, but then I eat the ice cream because it feels good, right?
Yeah, oh, the ice cream's so good too.
So when she said, well, I gone the last 2 weeks, and then I kind of cheated, I'm like, so that was a wonderful discussion. We are to the prosperity part of the service, and prosperity, if you can hold your gift between your hands to infuse it with your wonderful energy. You're gonna notice something today. We also have cards, or envelopes, I'm sorry. And if you wanna put it in the envelope and mark it, we're trying that this year for people who take tax deductions for charity to help track that better. You can't track cash, but we can track the envelopes or PayPal or check, and we appreciate that. So hold your gift between your hands to infuse it with your wonderful energy. Prosperity is a state of mind. It is not only financial, it includes love, health, and happiness. We should think of ourselves and the Institute as also being prosperous in peace, in wisdom, in service to others, as well as the financial abundance. Divine love always has, and divine love always will supply our every need. If you are here for the first time, take your blessing and put it back in your pocket. Your presence today is your gift. And Usher will now come for your gifts. Bruce. We could have music, right? Let's bless the basket. Our beloved Creator and Nurturer, we ask for your abundance of blessings today in our lives. As we come to give you our tithes and offerings, we ask the cup overflow. Bless our jobs and our businesses, our families, and our communities. Amen. Amen. Thank you. I'll bring it to Miss Reverend Beth. Thank you. All right, announcements. They're actually going to be a little bit short today. Beginning in March, we are gonna be starting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. And why is that? Well, one, it still allows time for people to go out for early breakfast, but it allows us to either have time for hospitality afterwards, or if we don't have hospitality, that we have time to spend on our Sunday afternoon to better plan our activities. So the board said, yes, let's move it to 10. We've been trying to do that for a couple years now. And Christine with Spark has agreed that we can start at 10 a.m. And I'll send out reminders, because I hope I'm not the one that forgets and arrives at 10:30. So, let's see. The next services are March 5th and March 19th. And I'm gonna keep this short. Come visit ISD Outreach Space at Wildwood Antique Mall. We're still putting a lot of new things in, and we actually made rent. I get excited at the small things. We made our little rent, and I was excited, but we have some really nice things at the Antique Mall, and that's 720 South US 1. It's by Oslo Road, the Publix. Is that what you would say?
Yeah.
And has McDonald's in there, stuff. So it's a wonderful place to shop. And so that's it for the announcements today. That's a record, a Kodak moment. So now we're gonna go into the healing circle, and what I'm going to do is say goodbye to our friends on YouTube and thank you for watching.